Hey guys, today I am filming the finale for my Project Tin Pan Roulette. This was a collab with the amazing Mae Beauty and Elle S. Please make sure you go check out their channels and their videos. I have all of that information linked in the description box. I am completing this project now after 3 months, but I think Elle and Lauren are going to keep it going for 1 more month, so they should have 1 more update and a finale. So I will continue to update my description box with their videos. I really want to thank Lauren and Elle for doing this project with me. They're some of my favorite project planners and favorite YouTubers in general, and it was just so fun to be able to collaborate with some amazing project planners. So it was just really fun for me. And if you guys have not seen my intro and my other updates, I'll have my playlist linked up here so you can check out all of those details. I'm going to start off by showing you guys my current state of the products that I had left since my last update. So in my last update, I had added in 3 foil packet primer samples, and I was able to finish up all 3 of these. I'm so glad I added these in my project because I've been holding onto these samples for such a long time. So the first one I used up is the Hourglass Ambient Light Correcting Primer in the shade Mood Light. These come in a bunch of different shades, and it actually does kind of color correct, but this shade was pink and it made my skin look more pink, which is not what I want. It gives a little bit of moisture, a little bit of glow, but I didn't like it. I always apply my primer with my fingers, and I had to really wipe off my hands because I had colored primer all over them, and I didn't like that at all. It didn't do anything for my skin. I know that a lot of people have been disappointed by these. I don't know of anyone that actually cares for them, so I wouldn't recommend them. I know that Hourglass is a really expensive brand, and I think that their Mineral Veil and their more serumy primer have a lot better reviews, but definitely pass on those. I didn't like them at all. The second primer I tried was the Burberry Fresh Glow in the shade number 1 Nude Radiance. I know a lot of people really like this. It gave a tiny bit of glow and maybe a little bit of moisture, but nothing significant enough that would make me want to buy that. And then the third product, I still don't know if it's a primer or not, but that is how I use this. This is the Giorgio Armani Fluid Sheer. It didn't come in any particular shade. It just says Fluid Sheer on the back. This was terrible. The other products were just okay. I didn't like them, but this was terrible. They should call this Fluid Shimmer, because that's what it was. It was a bunch of shimmer in here, and the thing is, I could feel it. Feel like little granules of shimmer. It looked terrible. Shimmer all over my face. It didn't moisturize. My skin didn't feel more smooth. I really don't understand the point of this product. It wasn't glowy at all. It just had shimmer in it, and it looked terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't understand the point of it. So I don't like any of these primers, and obviously they're not ideal for my oily skin type, but the best one was definitely the Burberry Fresh Glow, and honestly it wasn't even that good. So I'm glad that I tried them. I almost didn't finish this Armani one because it was so freaking terrible, but yeah, I'm really happy that I finally have those things used up out of my life. And the next product I'm really excited about, I finished my Ben Nye Cameo Powder. I have had this in my collection for so many years. If you guys are ever interested in getting a Ben Nye Cameo Powder, I really don't think you guys need a larger size than the 1.5 ounce or 42 grams. This is a great size that will last you forever. If you're using the neutral set for all over your face, then yeah, maybe you would get the larger size for that. But I did really like this. It was a cream powder with a pink undertone. I loved using this to set my under eyes. It did have a nice satin finish. It gave good coverage. I don't know if I would repurchase this. When I started using it again, I thought I was going to, but towards the end I decided that I wasn't gonna purchase it again, and that's because I apply that with a damp sponge to set my under eyes. If I use too much product, it gets really thick and cakes up under my eyes, and then I'll try to buff away the excess product, and all that does is lift up the product and my foundation, and then my skin looks really patchy. So maybe I'm just using too much product, but It's just too finicky, so I might purchase it way down the line in the future, but I'm thinking of trying out some different under eye setting powders. The next thing I finished is the Wet n Wild Single Shadow in the shade Roulette. I used up the one that was in the Wet n Wild Vanity palette. I love this. It is my favorite brow bone highlight that I've been using since before I even started my channel, which was in 2011. So I've been using this for years and years and years, and I currently am using this to set my primer, and it works so well for that. That shade matches my skin tone really nicely. I've actually already repurchased that in a single because I just couldn't be without it. The next item I finished is the Jessie's Girl Liquid Eyeliner. This is their brush tip eyeliner pen. This is waterproof, and I did really enjoy this. It lasted me a long time. Very, very pigmented black, and it really is waterproof, but I'm not going to repurchase this. The reason for that is because a very similar product is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster pen. That one is a bit more expensive, but you can find Physicians Formula for 40% off at the drugstore all the time. And I think that they perform very similarly, but the reason that I'm choosing Physicians Formula over the Jessie's Girl is because the tip of this has really splayed out and gotten really wide, and I'm not getting as precise of a line. With the Physicians Formula, I do not have that problem. So I think this is really good, and I've never heard of anybody else mentioning that problem. And towards the end, I just kind of brushed the tip against the cap to reshape it and make it skinnier. So this is a good product. I do recommend it, but I will be purchasing the Physicians Formula instead. And my next item I also finished up. This is the Benefit They're Real Mascara. This is a plastic bristle wand. The formula I don't think is too wet or too dry. This does give some nice length and separation, but I don't think this is amazing. I actually prefer natural bristle brushes, but I also like pairing together a plastic and natural bristle wand. But I don't think that this did anything crazy. Nothing more significant than a drugstore mascara would do. So while I like this, I am not going to repurchase it. So I finished everything except for my last item, and I am okay with that because this was a bonus item. This is the Clinique Pop lipstick in the shade Melon Pop. So I know this is pretty reflective, but if you guys can see, the first line is where I started on this item, and the second line is where I'm at now. So actually a decent amount of progress. And this is how much of the lipstick I have left. Quite a bit of product here. I do really like the formula of these lipsticks. They are very comfortable, very creamy. This shade, however, can sometimes look really bright. And for that reason, I wasn't really wearing this at my internship site because I didn't want it to be too intense. So I would just apply one layer, or I would apply it and blot off the top layer. So I didn't get a ton of use out of this. I will be rolling this over into my next project so I can hopefully get more use out of this in the summer, and fingers crossed be able to finish it up. But I was able to try it out, and I can feel pretty good about that. So now I want to give you guys my final thoughts on all of the items I have finished off in my previous updates. Just give you my quick summed up thoughts, whether I would repurchase it or not. And if you want all of the nitty gritty details of my opinion on these items, be sure to check out my updates. So my first item is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This is actually a really great glowy primer. I don't think I would repurchase it. I might pick up a 100 Point Perk in the future because it was nice. Out of all the glowy primers, this is hands down a million times better for me than any of these terrible primer samples. Still not ideal for my skin type. So even though this is glowy, I don't think it necessarily made me more oily, but it just is the kind of primer I'm looking for. But it is the best glowy primer I've ever tried. I also finished up the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation in the shade Light 45. Since I purchased this foundation, I think at the very beginning of the year, Kat Von D repackaged these, and she also added some new colors. I think my perfect match would be Light 43, which is a very fair yellow tone color. I really do think I will repurchase this in the future. It gives great coverage, a nice satin finish. I really, really did enjoy this, especially when I mixed it in with my hard candy mixing drop. So I do love this, and I will repurchase it in the future. I do have actually a lot of foundations right now. The next thing I finished is the Revlon Photo Ready Bronzer in Bronzed and Chic. I just used up the lightest two shades. The other two kind of broke and I just tossed them. I already have a backup of this, so I will be using that. It's an amazing, amazing drugstore bronzer. So disappointed Revlon discontinued it. My next item is something that I just wanted to hit pan on. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in the shade NC15. I do really enjoy this for cleaning up my brows and filling in my forehead wrinkles, cleaning up my eyeshadow. I do think that this can be a good spot concealer, but it isn't my favorite. But I do really enjoy this, and I know it's still going to last me forever. And then I have the Benefit Ka-Brow Brow Pomade in the shade number 1. Really great light blonde shade for me. The lightest brow pomade I've ever seen color-wise. The formula was good for a brow pomade. Brow pomades aren't my favorite, so I definitely won't repurchase this. And the last item I had finished is a little mini Sephora lipstick. This is the Sephora Rouge Brilliance lipstick in the shade number 14, a really nice bubblegum pink color. I didn't like this formula whatsoever. It made my lips chapped. It was a really slippery formula. It was not long lasting whatsoever, all outside my lip line. So I think this formula is garbage. So guys, that was the finale of my Project Tin Pan Roulette collab. Please make sure you go check out Elle and Lauren and subscribe to their channels. I would love to know your thoughts if you've tried out any of these items in the comments down below. Also, please let me know what projects you guys are currently doing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.